I've known Tobey for a while, and I had a really interesting conversation with Tobey. And the one thing that Tobey said is that what she really prides herself on, which she feels very strongly about, pride is she prides herself on her humility, which she describes in her own words as massive. And as we were talking, that struck me as excessively self-confident. So I said, Tobey, don't you think that's hubris? And she said, no, I'm not trying to be humorous. And then she proceeded to say, between you and me, now I'm sharing this with all of you, is she said, if my humility went up against your humility, my humility would crush yours like a bug. And so luckily tonight, Tobey and her humility could fit through the door, and it is going to take the stage here. Please give thunderous applause to Tobey Ishii Anderson. If only we had that shorter MC.
Insects are arthropods with 3 body parts: head, thorax, abdomen, and they don't fart. Now that's something I would always chant when I would be collecting bugs as a kid growing up. When I taught 3rd grade, we had pets in the classroom. Insect pets. I had a tank of Madagascar hissing cockroaches, and a cage full of crickets, a perpetual summer in my classroom. But actually, they were a food source for Buffy, the cricket slayer tarantula. Now, in my classroom, I would have to say that show and tell was a really big event. And kids would come with their Hot Wheel cars and their My Little Pony collections. We had a rule, though. No pets allowed. No mammals in show and tell. It was one afternoon when Mrs. Suzuki came to visit me. I know, Anderson-san, my son Saburo is just learning English and, well, he is so shy. May he bring his pet hamster for show and tell? Onegai shimasu. Onegai shimasu. That is the most polite form in Japanese of saying, please! Yes, Mrs. Suzuki, of course he can bring in his pet, which he did in a cage and set it down on his table, and already I could hear that ring of the trundle wheel. And the kids gathered around Saburo. He was the star. Now, when recess was finished and the kids were dribbling into the classroom, Sally, she immediately goes to the cage. Mrs. Anderson, I think something's wrong with this hamster. What do you mean? And the hamster was in a tight ball. I opened up the cage. It was not moving. And just then, Saburo walks in. Nandake, hamuratu. I look at Sally. Sally, towel. I open the cage. Take out that hamster. CPR? 1, 2, 3, 4. Staying alive. Boom! And the eyeballs just pop open and it bit me. And I tossed that hamster back into the cage and then it starts up on the trundle wheel. That weekend, I went to see my sister, who has this beautiful aquarium. And so she and I went to Aqua World to get special food for her fish. It was gluten-free mealworm oil infused flakes, very, very expensive. And as she was putting the flakes onto her shelf, I was admiring the beautiful exotic fish when I noticed something. Hey, Addie, you better come and take a look. One of your fish is swimming like upside down. Oh, that is my prized goldfish. It's one of those goldfish with the googly eyes. I look at her, Addie, towel. And I grabbed hold of that fish. I disconnected the 2 wires to the water purifier. I stuck it in the fish. Addie, clear. Boof. Oh, it's not working. Again, clear. Boof. That fish started moving, flapping. And I tossed it into the tank, and there it was, swimming so peacefully. It's a tradition in my school. The parent teachers have a potluck. And so I was filling my plate with mashed potatoes and lasagna, and, excuse me, and I knocked into a woman wearing a hijab, a headdress, wearing a beautiful sarong, and she looked at me, Saudara, ada perasaan. You have the touch. The touch? What do you mean, the touch? She was gone. The touch. Back at home, Brett was so tired of these ants that were just hanging around the porch. I'm calling the pest guy. Well, I wasn't very happy about that, but 3 days later, Andersons, I got you down here for ant demolition. And I thought, the touch. I think I'll give it a go. You feel sick. Oh, I don't feel well. You want to go home. I think I'm going to go home. And he left. So I went to the porch, and the ants were gone. My daughter asked me to come to her house to help her out with a garden party. Mom, I'm not going to use that citronella candle stuff. It stinks. If the mosquitoes come buzzing around and bite people, well, so be it. I said, hey, wait a minute. Let me check out your garden. Let me check the perimeter. Now our guests were starting to arrive drinking champagne. Which Home Depot do you go to? This insect spray is incredible. Why, there are no bugs here. And that's when my daughter and we meet eyes. Now I have my own business, and my card reads, for a bug-free garden party, wedding, funeral, call Tobey One Kenobi, the insect whisperer. Oh, excuse me. Hello? Yeah, Tobey One. Bar mitzvah, garden bar mitzvah, bugs? No problem. I'll be right there. I also do emergency calls. Remember, Tobey One, the insect whisperer.